Today on the Morning Edition, hours after President Trump announced partial federal SNAP funding, Governor Mike Dunleavy declares a state food security disaster declaration. This impacts more than 66,000 Alaskans receiving SNAP food assistance benefits. Plus, the state will work with a federal contractor for electronic. Plus, a controversial figure back in the headlines, a man known for his homeless advocacy, his criminal past, and an attempt to sail to China in an 8-foot dinghy. We'll bring you the details as his accused killer's trial gets underway. And later, handmade quilts for veterans, a simple gift to show appreciation for service members that have given part of their life for their country. It's all part of Quilts of Valor. We'll take a look as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. We've got still some of that iciness on the ground.
Yeah, the good news is the roads are not as icy as yesterday morning, but you will still encounter some of those slick road conditions across South Central. Yesterday, we did wake up to some light snow, some areas of wintry mix. This morning, not so much, but we will keep a chance for some flurries in the forecast. You can see those Christmas lights already beginning to pop up across town. This is out looking towards Midtown as you head out towards Cuddy Park. You can see those temperatures this morning, 28 degrees. Winds remaining fairly light. Now we are holding on to these cooler conditions across not only South Central, but a good portion of the state. And while we will continue to favor at least some flurry activity throughout the day, we are going to be watching later this week, but we'll see a better opportunity for some snow across South Central. You can see those temperatures across the Anchorage Bowl, anywhere from the lower 20s to sitting near freezing, 31 in Jay-Bear as well as Hillside. Campbell Creek coming in at 22 degrees this morning. Elsewhere across South Central, not too terribly cold to start off your Tuesday morning. We are seeing some of those cloud breaks to start off the day, and where we are seeing those cloud breaks, this is where temperatures are managing to bottom out even colder than surrounding locations. You can see coastal areas actually waking up to those temperatures sitting above freezing for many areas. This is where we'll hold on to that better opportunity for some rain and snow, which will stick around throughout the day, while inland areas, we will watch for the opportunity that we could keep some passing flurries in the forecast as we continue to see this disorganized weather pattern staying with us, that southeasterly flow keeping some moisture streaming in across South Central. So some flurry activity will carry us into the afternoon hours for South Central. That bus stop forecast this morning across the state, 12 degrees in Fairbanks as well as out towards Bethel, where we are seeing some areas of some freezing fog. Then from Juneau out towards here in South Central, we're seeing those temperatures in the 20s and the 30s. Watching a better chance for snow later this week. I'll have more on that 7-day forecast coming up.
In today's top story, hours after President Trump announced partial federal SNAP funding, Governor Mike Dunleavy declares a state food security disaster declaration, impacting more than 66,000 Alaskans receiving SNAP food assistance benefits. The 30-day disaster declaration addresses SNAP benefits for Alaskans. The state will work with a federal contractor for electronic transfers of benefits onto EBT cards on a weekly schedule. The declaration lasts 30 days or until the federal government reopens. The food bank says a lack of SNAP benefits hits different in Alaska.
But SNAP is extra and maybe uniquely critical to Alaska because we have so many of our communities off the road system. For us to do emergency shipment of containers, it can take up to 3 weeks to get a new bulk of food delivered up here. And that's assuming the supply chain works. That's assuming everything goes according to plan. SNAP is in communities now. Our retailers are in communities now. So the stores that accept SNAP, they can serve people now, but the people who have SNAP just don't have them to spend.
Miller says the impact will be felt by grocery stores as well, saying in 2023, more than 500 retailers accepted over $280 million in SNAP benefits. The governor's office says the Alaska Department of Health will work with food banks to provide additional resources, which right now many people are turning to those food pantries for food and support. Joe Allgood tells us that a local artist is leaning into his talent in an effort to help.
With SNAP benefits in jeopardy, a local Anchorage artist wanted to find a way to turn his art into a way to give back.
Musk hawks. And then the mama's heads are huge comparatively.
Max Romy has been sketching Alaska's wildlife for years.
My favorite two artists on Earth are Leonardo da Vinci and my grandma, but not in that order.
Inspired by his grandmother's field sketches and her watercolors, and also her ability to reach people.
As a dyslexic kid, seeing her be able to connect to people without using a single word was so inspirational. And her adventures were just in these notes. It was just amazing to see, how she was able to use art to connect with people.
Celebrating his birthday by connecting with others on a live stream, sketching and painting all day, and donating the proceeds of each piece sold to the Food Bank of Alaska.
And I don't have a spare $10,000 or $15,000 on me, but I know how to turn a piece of paper into something special, and everybody else has come together to figure out the rest.
Throughout the day, hundreds tuned in from across the country, many buying the art.
And then to know all these little pieces of Alaska are going to be sent to their homes as little tiny reminders, whether it's a sandhill crane or something, and each of these is 600 meals.
Each brush stroke, a meal. Each painting, a picture of hope.
I think you can do good by doing good with just about anything. And in my case, I love watercolors and I love painting, but you just need to think in one clever way to be able to twist that into encouraging other people to help something like the food bank.
If you'd like to give to the Food Bank of Alaska, they have a 24/7 food drop box, and they also accept donations in person each day from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. of non-perishable pantry staples. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
Alaska has at least 15 food banks and pantries working around the clock right now to serve neighbors in need. From large areas like Anchorage, Fairbanks, Juneau, and the Kenai Peninsula to smaller regional and rural hubs, including Bethel. Our investigative team's Augusta McDonald looked into how the changes in SNAP benefits are impacting a location in Anchorage. That's expecting demand to more than double. This location at the Lutheran Social Services Food Banks services over 3,000 people a month. Normally, the beginning of the month is slower because people are using their SNAP benefits at the grocery store. This month, Director of Operations Dean Humphreys expects that to change.
If there is no food stamps put out towards the community, anywhere from a 50 to 60% increase, I would expect.
So what is that like when you're seeing first-time food bank users who typically use SNAP to fund maybe half their groceries a month?
Nervous, embarrassed, the range of emotions. They bring kids in. We give the kids some snack packs just to kind of alleviate that. But that's typically they don't know what to do.
What remains to be seen now is what constant SNAP changes mean in the days ahead, how the disaster declaration will affect local Alaskans, and if demand on food banks can be met and handled. Meantime, jury selection has begun in the trial of a man prosecutors say killed a homeless advocate, registered sex offender, and the person who made international headlines attempting to sail to China in an 8-foot dinghy, John Martin, in 2023. Lauren Maxwell shares details as Ryan Dumler's trial gets started.
If you visited downtown Anchorage in 2011, it's likely you saw John Martin.
Right, I'm protesting the mayor, Dan Sullivan, for the way that he's treating the homeless people.
Martin's protest was a 6-month sit-in right across from City Hall. He got the attention of the mayor.
But this law has passed constitutional muster.
Who proposed an ordinance to make sitting or lying down on downtown sidewalks illegal. But the assembly didn't pass it.
It's dead, it's defective, we need to get rid of it.
And Martin was free to carry on. Martin was not just homeless. According to court records, he was also a registered sex offender who spent 8 years in prison. In 2015, he was tried multiple times but never convicted after prosecutors said he was driving under the influence in a fatal vehicle crash that killed his girlfriend. To many, he's most well known for what happened in 2018.
My name is John Martin, and I am being detained in Russia for entering the country without documentation.
When Martin made international headlines as he attempted to sail to China in an 8-foot dinghy. At the time, he said it was to reunite with his wife and child there. The boat was blown off course, and Martin landed in Russia instead.
And it was at that moment where I really remember thinking, I am way in over my head.
Detained for weeks, he was finally released and returned to Alaska. Martin last made headlines in 2023 when prosecutors say his shooting death in a parking lot off West Diamond Boulevard was caught on a security camera. Police arrested Ryan Dumler that same day. Now, more than 2 years later, Dummler is going to trial, where prosecutors are expected to present evidence about the events that led to Martin's death. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
Dummler is facing 3 counts of murder in relation to Martin's death. Keep it to Alaska's news source for updates throughout his trial. Kena Aviation announced it will cease operations. The company's founder, Joel Caldwell, says he's dealt with financial difficulties from things like expensive maintenance and the COVID pandemic. Caldwell says he loved connecting Alaskans and loved working with his staff. He released a statement reading in part, quote, "This can't be the end of the story. A tough chapter, yes, but the book isn't enough. While today all flights cease operations, who knows what tomorrow will hold? It's hard to ground a vision." A follow-up with a more in-depth look at the new planetarium that's coming to the University of Alaska Fairbanks, making it the most northern facility of its kind in the Western Hemisphere. As the community waits for construction to finish, Alaska's news source caught up with the planetarium's new director to talk about the new plans and mission.
A lifetime of passion for astronomy. 12 years at planetariums in Anchorage, now Omega Smith has come to Fairbanks to run the new planetarium, expected to open in late February.
Having the planetarium here, it gives me a really great opportunity to share the stories of the research and the stories being born right here in Fairbanks in the interior.
Meanwhile, Smith is preparing material for the opening, teaching visitors about the interior.
May it be the indigenous stories, how the ways of knowing about our night sky from this perspective in this unique area on the world, and the stories of the research being done here on this campus and around Fairbanks.
The building's exterior is nearly complete. Crews working inside to get the facility ready to accept the public. When completed, the planetarium will be named for a donor couple who gave $7.4 million to the project.
It's incredible to be able to work with people who have that much passion and generosity towards teaching sciences, especially to the youth of the community.
Administrators also want to hear from the public, with the comments section available on the facility's website. Alex Spengel, Alaska's news source.
When we come back, help is on the way for Western Alaska residents impacted by former Typhoon Halag. Find out how the state is extending moose hunting season in some areas to support families still recovering from the storm, who's eligible, and when you can get your permit coming up.
Cooler weather continues to settle in across the state. While we can't rule out some flurries today across South Central, a better chance for snow arrives later this week. I'll have more on that. But first at sunrise, 8:36 in Anchorage, 10:35 in Utqiagvik. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back on this Tuesday morning. Aaron, what are we looking at weather-wise?
Well, we can't rule out a few flurries across South Central today, but of course those colder conditions that we've been monitoring across the state, they continue to settle in across Alaska, waking up to a wind chill of 5 degrees in Fairbanks, 4 below in Dead Horse, 14 degrees in Utqiagvik. As you head out towards southwest Alaska, where we are seeing some clearer skies and even some areas of freezing fog to start off the morning. Those temperatures or wind chills are sitting in the single digits. So colder conditions continue to settle in across the state. We have yet to see any significant winter storm across Alaska. With that said, we will favor at least some passing flurries today across South Central. I can't rule out some isolated snow showers as you head out west. And of course, this morning through parts of the interior, we're also seeing some very light snowfall. But as far as the next couple of days, we'll largely continue to favor at least some passing snow showers. By Thursday, we will be watching a better chance for some snow to spread across South Central. Now, when you look in the upper levels of the atmosphere, this is our 500 millibar chart. This is where you tend to watch for that jet stream. You see those temperature trends in the upper levels of the atmosphere. This really helps give an idea of what we're going to see at the surface. And you can see that troughing remains with us. We're going to continue to see these cooler conditions kind of settle in across the state. Notice with this southeasterly flow that's going to continue to pull in that moisture as this colder weather continues to settle in across the state. This is where we're going to be watching that chance for some snow as we welcome in Wednesday night on into our Thursday. And it comes from this area of low pressure that's churning through the northern Pacific Ocean, southern parts of the Gulf of Alaska. As that continues to build northward, it will keep some rain in the forecast for southeast. But as it builds into south central, we'll tap into those colder conditions with that moisture in place, and we'll see some snow beginning to fall late Wednesday night on into our Thursday. Now, coastal areas may see more in the way of a rain-snow mix. And of course, the mountains will take the brunt of this snowfall as we welcome in our Thursday. But at the surface, we will see that potential that we could see some localized areas picking up nearly an inch of that snowfall. And this comes into our Thursday and early Friday morning. Notice as you head out towards Seward, this is more towards Moose Pass, some of those higher elevations. So if you have any plans later this week that's going to take you through the Seward Highway on the Kenai, be prepared. Turning in past it, you will encounter winter conditions. You can see, again, the heaviest snowfall accumulation will remain in the mountains, but we can't rule out up to an inch or so of snow accumulation at the surface. And then as we continue to progress through the next 1 to 2 weeks, we will continue to favor above normal precipitation. With temperatures holding near that freezing mark, if not slightly below freezing, we'll see a better chance for some snow in the forecast. Now, no significant snow accumulation looks likely for the time being. While we will see some flurry activity today, our next best chance of snow arrives as we welcome in our Thursday. You can see daily highs holding near freezing, overnight lows in the 20s. So yes, get into that winter mindset when it comes to driving, and be careful on those roadways as you will encounter some of those slick road conditions.
All right, good advice there. Thanks, Aaron. The Anchorage School District has a new idea to help many of those affected by former Typhoon Halong feel more at home here. Adelmi Ruiz joins us with the details. Adelmi.
Kristen, the impact of the storm is still felt by many Western Alaska families, but the Anchorage School District is stepping up to help them feel more at home. They're holding Regalia workshop nights through January. The goal is to help families reclaim cultural pieces lost to the typhoon. It's a chance for students to connect with their heritage and wear these important cultural items.
In ASD, having cultural regalia at graduation is a huge thing, and our kids are so proud to be able to wear cultural regalia.
The goal of this is to provide space and opportunity to really focus on building regalia and reclaiming some of the pieces and connections that they might have lost during the typhoon. One of the ways that people can help is to bring in any crafting type items that could be used in regalia.
These craft items can include fabric, leather, fur, beads, buttons, or thread. The first workshop will be held at Betty Davis East High School on November 14th at 5 p.m., and these events will continue weekly through January 30th. Moose hunting season is being extended in some Western Alaska locations to help people who have been impacted by former Typhoon Halong. The Alaska Department of Fish and Game says the extensions being offered are in the Quinnahock and Kuskokwim areas. The extensions are to support households that suffered wind and storm surge damage or those who weren't able to harvest a moose during the regular fall season. Permits are available this Wednesday. Only Alaska residents who haven't harvested a moose since July 1st are eligible. The bag limit is 1 moose. Fish and Game says they can offer the extension because hunters didn't reach this year's quota. Kristen?
All right, thanks, Adelmi.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.